What's up, losers? Today I'm back with another r/fatlogic video. I know I said yesterday that I was going to include 3 posts in this one. But as it turns out, that was a big fat lie. Because I was looking through the posts I've saved up, and I found a good one that covers 10 points. So I decided to just do this post today, and respond to each point individually. There's a lot to unpack, so it should be enough to get me through. But anyway, that's enough preamble from me. This is episode 78 in the fatlogic series. Let's get into it.
10 hidden ways fat phobia lurks in people's lives.
Okay, right off the bat. Why is this post so visually chaotic? Like, all of the bolding and underlining and highlighting and crosses and whatever else isn't making the post easier to digest. It's just giving me anxiety, haha. But anyway, onto the 10 hidden ways.
1. Unloading on fat friends. Friend complaining about how unattractive they are at their current weight. To their bigger friend, fat person being forced into the therapist role, and comfort someone who has more body privilege, whilst also insulting friends' fatter body indirectly.
Okay, so I basically agree with this point that if you can see that someone is significantly larger than you, it's pretty tactless to make a bunch of derogatory comments about your own weight. And regardless of the intentions of the person making these comments, it's completely understandable why the fat person might be uncomfortable hearing them. I suspect that most people have enough social awareness to not do this. But for those who do not, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Regardless of the health consequences of obesity or any of that, nobody wants to be made to feel unattractive, and telling your fat friend how hideously fat you think your body is, when it is smaller than theirs, is definitely going to have that effect. So yeah, probably best to refrain.
2. Jokes at your own expense. Making fun of how fat, greedy, lazy, or unhealthy they are. This is ableism, healthism, colonialism, capitalism, etc., as well as fat phobia.
Whoa, that's a lot of isms. Let's take a look at them, shall we? Is it ableism to make fun of how fat, greedy, lazy, or unhealthy you are? No, why would it be? You're not disabled, you're just fat, and people are allowed to make jokes about themselves. Is it healthism? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really take healthism seriously as a concept anyway though. So who cares? Is it colonialism? No. Is it capitalism? Not really. No. And even if it were, that's not exactly scandalous now, is it? Overall, this point was just confusing. And I don't have much else to say about it. Moving on.
3. Thinking it's okay for other people to be fat, but not me, or, I am healthier, better looking, and feel more comfortable when I have a smaller body.
See, this point is a good example of why fat activists struggle to appeal to normal people. Because they're not content with getting people to treat fat people with respect and tolerance. They're also determined to tell everyone exactly how they need to feel about everything, including themselves. Because when you're as insecure as these fat activists are, even the suggestion that someone else might want to live their life differently to you is enough to send you into a full-blown tantrum. People are allowed to feel however the hell they want about themselves, their bodies, and their body goals. It's none of your business. If someone is respectful to you as a fat person, but personally wants to be thin, you have no grounds for complaint. The world doesn't revolve around you, and other people's feelings and desires are not subordinate to your own. So give it a rest.
4. Wouldn't consider dating a fat person. Have a weight limit on whom they date, or only date acceptable fat people, i.e. hourglass or burly, versus fat.
Oh God, it's the "why won't you date me" talking point. I will never understand how these fat activists can come out and try to guilt people into being attracted to them, or going out with them, and not feel totally embarrassed. Like, don't you have any shame at all? Couldn't be me. But yeah, while I think it would be a bit weird to have a specific cutoff weight at which you refuse to date someone, and it's unnecessary to proclaim one's physical preferences to the world, I don't think that, in principle, there is anything wrong with wanting to date thin people, because everyone has preferences, and everyone should be allowed to pursue someone that they're actually attracted to. Forming a relationship out of a sense of obligation, and not mutual attraction, is a recipe for bitterness and resentment. And frankly, I don't know why you, as a fat person, would even want to go out with someone who didn't find you attractive. Where is the self-respect? So in summary, let's just let people date whomever they please. Okay, nothing good can come of going down this road. Trust me.
5. Think that if they are sick, or unable to move their body as they could before, then it's 100% the fault of their size, and must lose weight.
Okay, but it probably is the result of their size. If you were perfectly healthy, and moving around just fine when you were thin, and things changed when you put on a significant amount of weight, it is highly likely that the weight gain has something to do with it. You should probably still seek medical advice to make sure that something else isn't going on. But as far as a starting theory, the instinct to link these changes to weight is sound. It's certainly not some wildly misinformed, crazy take, and it's not size fatphobic. So yeah, there's not much to this point, as far as I'm concerned.
6. Talk about food as something that they can't control themselves around, moralizing it, or feeling superior for eating good food. Views white food as healthier.
Some people do have trouble controlling themselves around food, though. That's just their experience. It's not about moralizing or anything like that. It's simply a matter of them wanting to restrict their food intake, and having trouble doing so due to their uncontrollable cravings. I don't see what's fatphobic about that. As for people feeling superior for eating quote-unquote good food, I will acknowledge that such people exist. But I think that these people are in the minority, and it says more about their personalities than it does about dieting as a whole. Most people do not think that eating certain foods makes them special or superior. They just view them as a means to an end, and there is nothing wrong with that. I don't know what to say about the viewing white food as superior part, because I'm not sure exactly what foods would be classed as white foods. I guess this is mostly an American thing. It seems like it would be more of a racial issue than a fatphobia issue to me. But I don't want to speak too much on something that I am largely ignorant of. So I suppose I'll leave it to you guys to chime in down in the comments, if you have any thoughts to share.
7. Believes the answer to health is exercise and eating right, and ignores systemic issues, oppression, lack of access, mental health, and resource hoarding, etc., as bigger issues.
The reason that people emphasize exercise and eating right as the answer to health is because, on an individual level at least, they are the answer, regardless of your socioeconomic status. A healthy diet and regular exercise will benefit you, and an unhealthy diet with no exercise will harm you. The reason that socioeconomics is relevant is not because it overrules diet and exercise. It's because it influences people's diet and exercise patterns. Like, don't get me wrong. If I were the president or something, my plan to combat obesity would not just be telling people to take individual responsibility. I would try to tackle the issue on a systemic level. But if someone I knew came to me asking for advice, lamenting the broader socioeconomic circumstances that give rise to obesity would not do them any good, while advising them to reduce calories and exercise more would. In other words, it's all well and good to talk about systemic issues that have an impact on health outcomes. But if you use these systemic issues to distract from how these health issues occur on an individual level, you're putting the cart before the horse. And you're doing more harm than good.
8. Feel relief at the thought, at least I'm not as big as her person who is bigger than them.
Once again, people are allowed to feel however they want. And if they're not making a point of putting the other person down over their weight, I don't see that this is any of your business. I will say as an aside though, I don't think this is a helpful or productive mindset to adopt. Your life is your life. And your body is your body. Comparing yourself to others, whether to make yourself feel better or to make yourself feel worse, is shifting the focus away from where it should be, which is on what you want, and what you are going to do to get it.
9. Thinking that fat people should dress in a certain way to disguise their fatness, and must control their body, citing a free, fat body as indecent or improper.
Yeah, I agree with this one that we shouldn't tell fat people that they can only dress in clothes that obscure their bodies. Because fat people have just as much of a right to dress however they please as anyone else. And there is nothing indecent about a fat person simply existing in public. With that being said, I think that in most cases, fat people choose to dress in such a way not because they have been pressured to, but because they are personally insecure or ashamed of the way they look. And there isn't much that we can do about that. I certainly don't think that calling these people fatphobic, and making them feel worse about themselves, is going to help. So I think that the best we can do for now is support people in whatever clothing choices they make. And encourage people to lose weight. Because obesity is unhealthy. Just throwing that in there in case you thought I'd forgotten, haha.
10. They view fat people as angry, complainers, unreasonable, or excessively large/scary, especially black men.
Okay, well, I don't know how common it is to stereotype fat people as angry or aggressive. But needless to say, I don't support this. Most fat people, black males or otherwise, are pretty cool and chill people. And they deserve to be treated as real human beings, not nasty caricatures. So yeah, don't stereotype people. It's not funny and it's not cool. Fat activists are a bunch of angry whiners though. And you can't convince me otherwise, haha. At any rate, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this post and my breakdown of its points. What did you think about it? Which points, if any, did you consider valid, and which ones made you want to slam your head into a wall? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll make you memorize these 10 points, and recite them day and night, until you can't get them out of your mind. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.